Content Catchup.
Friends and enemies, welcome back to episode 26 of the Content Catchup. Barks, it's always a pleasure to see you. But
Jules,
I feel like it's even more of a pleasure to see you here today.
can I cut you off to be rude? I want to thank you for including me.
Well,
on
you
this
didn't.
On this
You didn't
intro
really
today.
cut me off
Yeah,
because
well, I
you
tried
waited
to.
until I finished, didn't
I
you?
tried to cut you off, but anyway, I want to thank you for letting me do this intro with you because I was listening to our podcast, and let alone the episode's ended. I'm like, fantastic, and Jules comes back on for a bit of me time.
A bit of me time, you reckon?
Bit of
We
me
need to have an
time,
outro, mate. We can't just end the show without anything. And we talked about that. So don't try and make the listeners think that I just came on and just wanted to talk to everyone by myself.
That's fair. I didn't want you to be fully transparent to sort of throw me under the bus, but that's fair enough. I actually, for what it's worth, I actually enjoyed it, so well done.
Thank you. I do appreciate your support. But what an episode. Let's just quick reflection. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. I know people hate us reflecting on shit, but thought it was a really good episode with Casey. I thought learnt a lot for sure.
Very good episode. And I think that's going to be one of our best rated ones. I haven't checked the stats yet, but I feel like the community around athletics and Casey, I think will show through. And I guess this leads on to my next point. I don't know if you saw a few polls on Twitter last night just to get our followers' thoughts on a few ones. So I wanted to ask you. I sort of put this tweet out. Basically, because during Casey's chat, we learnt a couple of things, and that first one was she doesn't set goals for herself. So I wanted to see what the Twitter world thought of that, and if they did. So, just out of curiosity, 71% said they do set goals, and 28% said they don't. So my question to you, Julian, are you a goal setter?
I answered that on our polls, and I think I said no. I don't know. I guess I am in a way, but also not. Like, it's a hard question, really.
Well, what do you mean? Do you write down goals, or you don't? Do
I don't write down goals. No, I've got mental goals, I think.
Yeah, I started doing this. I started writing them down this year, so I answered yes.
Okay. Do you find it? Are they like work-related goals? Are they personal goals? What are they?
More personal, more creative. Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, no. That was a couple work. I wrote them down, so I'm not going to share them with you. But real
what's the point of bringing this up if you're not going to share it with us?
Because I didn't have it ready, to be honest.
Isn't the show all about sharing?
All right. Well, we can make it another episode if you want. Second one I asked, would you say you get inspired by individual content creators you follow? I asked this because I think I worded this to Casey like, are there individuals you follow that inspire? And she sort of said, I wouldn't say inspire because something along the lines of she wouldn't put anybody above anybody else, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So do you get inspired by individual content creators? Then there was a third answer to this poll, both. So yes, the first answer was yes, because you want to do similar to the people you follow, or no, you want to do different. You want to create your own path. But I answered both because I think there's a few elements from both.
I think you always get inspired by other content creators. I think it's hard not to.
Good answer.
I think one way or the other, like whatever you consume, you're kind of inspired by. Like you could be listening to music. I think it was Ben Lawson that said that a lot of his inspiration actually came from music and like listening to that and
music over a cup of tea.
Yeah, music over a cup of tea. But yeah, I don't know if I guess I do get inspired by individual content creators rather than like trying to drive the inspiration myself. I mean, I think that's probably it, really.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to quickly touch on that because I thought it was an interesting point.
It is an interesting point.
And the answer to that, by the way, if you're curious, 83% said both. So most were on the same page as me. Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So that's sort of front of show stuff, and we'll get straight into... Well, actually, we want to talk Lionel Messi. He left
Lionel.
Really?
Lionel.
Okay. Lionel Messi. No, Lionel Messi left Barcelona this week, and I don't know soccer, but
Big deal.
Big deal, huge deal, and it was purely because they couldn't afford him, right?
Well, you're asking the wrong person if you're looking for an explanation about soccer, because I also don't know, but our friend Christian Filippo Critter explained it to us and basically said it had something to do with the salary cap.
Yep, I think that's right.
I think that was right. Like, they basically had bought too many other players, and La Liga said, no, you can't have them all.
We've stuffed this up, Jules, because perfect opportunity to get another correspondent on in Critter, and you'll be pissed at that, Critter, if you're listening, right. So apologies.
He's probably not listening, let's face it.
Anyway, so my theme of this week is what people do to farewell basically a legend.
A legend.
First little bit of content is not Lionel Messi, it's actually NFL world. Did you see this during the week of Peyton Manning? Bit of a nice little animation from the Colts.
Peyton, yeah. Because he got Hall of Fame, didn't he?
I don't know, to be honest.
I mean, you sent this example.
But it relates to Lionel Messi, is my point. So, really nice. It looks like an After Effects sort of file, but like one of those big portrait pictures that's made up of thousands little pictures. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool, really nice. But moving on to Barcelona.
That was a nice piece. But sorry, can I actually interrupt you?
Yeah, sure. Two-way show.
I caught up with the one and only Jonathan Strangio this morning.
What did you do?
And we went for a bit of a trot, Barks.
Oh, okay.
For a run.
Mask on?
No mask on. It's heavy exercise, so you're allowed to have your masks off. So we didn't have our masks off. But when we stopped, we did have our masks on. We're playing it safe here. But he was talking about some work that another club had done with a lot of lens flares, and you know how lens flares fucking trigger the old Strangio.
Trigger the Strange.
So once you showed that, all I could see was the lens flare, and I just thinking Strange might be angry if he sees this, but he doesn't listen either, so it doesn't really matter.
True. It was probably built into the After Effects file. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, After Effects and chill.
Lionel Messi. So if we've got the backstory right, it's that they couldn't afford him, and this sort of relates to what I talked to you about. So it was the club's decision. Lionel Messi was in tears. I don't know if you saw it, but he was clearly wanted to stay. They did a whole bunch of stuff, which we don't really go into. Some nice animations sort of showing what he's achieved there. But there was one fun little animation, Super Leo, bit of a Super cool. Mario ripoff.
With like some photos through the years. How it grows up. So the caption, simply put, Lionel Messi beat the game. Yeah, that's very good.
So I thought it was a little fun way to honor a legend of the club, and the cool little animations here. But I guess what I sort of wanted to look at today was how does this came from the club's view. So that
was cool.
Yeah.
The little headbutt to make the score 6-1. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, Bucks.
That's fine. So we're just watching this little animation, podcast listeners, but so this was Barcelona's decision to do it, but I sort of wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on how it changes, if it's the player's decision or the club's decision, because this one I found interesting. So it was sort of the club's doing, but almost at their own fault. Like, if we got the backstory right, they couldn't afford him, but they've pumped out a lot of content for it. Like, so do you think if it's the club's decision, do you have to be a bit quieter in normal circumstances? Because it's like, if you got rid of them, your fans are going to be mad. How is that going to impact what you can do?
That's a good question. I think it's a touchy point, right? And you want to pay tribute to them, but you know that there's a bit of bad blood. Yeah,
if there's feelings from the player side that they'd rather stick around.
Yeah. So I guess it's touchy, right? Because you do have to pay tribute to someone who's been such a big part of your club and essentially the face of your club for however long he'd been there for, since I think it's the only club he'd really played for, isn't it?
To my knowledge, yeah.
Yeah, so are you damned if you do, damned if you don't? But I think fans would just appreciate, like, the situation itself is quite it's not completely in Barcelona's hands. Like, they've got to get the best players that they can, and is one good player worth 3 good players if that's the case, or, you know?
Yeah. The thing I sort of thought... Sorry.
No, keep going. Go.
The thing I sort of thought about it was that, I don't know if this is right, but like if it's your decision to get rid of them, I think that costs you a bit of personal content.
Mm.
Well, actually, that could be wrong though, because like if it was Lionel's decision to leave, you can't really go. My point is like, can you talk to teammates or peers? Like
about him
farewelling. So if it's bad blood, probably not. But if it's his decision, you probably can, right?
Well,
it's interesting.
I think it is interesting. I think there's also like a shitload of just politics in sport, like especially soccer, that we probably don't know enough about. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. Like, if it was AFL, right? Like, I think you'd be a little bit more kind of cautious with your approach to things. But given that it is like soccer, maybe the fans just want to see Lionel for what he is and like celebrate him. Maybe they're not as like, I don't know what the word is. Not as bitter.
Like hurt?
Yeah. Maybe they genuinely understand it. Maybe their anger isn't directed towards the club, but rather it's directed towards the league for not allowing them to spend enough money or some shit like that. Maybe they could get away with it.
Yeah. I do think that fans, like, as we know, like, outrageous suggestion to think that fans could be sensible in their understanding, Jules. They'd probably be more attached. But anyway, they'd probably be more attached to the player rather than the situation.
Yeah.
But every situation is different. And then we go to the other side of this just quickly with big PSGs. What a Paris Saint Germain? I don't know. Whoever signed them. This bad boy, Jules. This is probably... So this is what they did... Again, Critter linked us this. So Christian Critter, you're the man. You're the soccer correspondent we need and want. Let's watch this. Actually, Jules, let me show you a little something. I'm going to share the sound. We're going to watch it together.
Little something.
Is that the wrong screen?
Oh, because we've got... Oh.
Hang on.
What's going on?
Hang on.
Here we go.
First time doing this.
This is totally fair because I completely fucked. So I hope Barks doesn't release this, but they're on the stream. There's going to be a side view of my head from my laptop screen.
Post it actually.
And then I've got another camera set up over here that is hopefully going to be recording, because otherwise we're just going to have just Barks on the screen.
Well, I just realized.
A little wave here.
Yeah, like I just realized we can have us on this screen while we watch. So, Jules, this is the other side of it. This is who signed Lionel Messi. Let's have a look at this fantastic video. I don't know how they... Oh, let's just watch it. Reactions after it. So this is basically a drone the whole way through in what looks to be one single shot.
So you think this is a drone and not just a virtual? No, it's a drone.
It
You're
has
right.
to be a drone.
There's a person there.
But the thing that I watched this the first time, the angles of the drone is like, I don't know how many times I'd have to do this or try to do it to get it right. But listeners, we're essentially watching a drone go through the stadium of PSG. I'm not going to pretend to know the stadium, but go through the merchandise shop, go through... Oh, they got all these weird spins in it. They go through like the whole facility with this sort of dramatic music. They go down the stairs into the locker room.
I love your commentating of this.
Well, I feel like
it's like Bruce McAvaney calling a drone race here.
It's going to be the next added.
And they're off and through the corner. Here they
go
into the locker room. Mate, can you turn it down a bit? I'm
going blowing his feet.
It's blowing my ear. Does this seriously go for 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's worth it though.
Nah, this ain't worth it.
This is
ain't
worth
it.
Because
this is cool. So not it.
Alright, maybe you can speed it up a bit, but basically this drone is flying around.
Yeah, come on, mate.
This drone is flying around every single bit of this stadium.
Tour.
And then it spins.
Get to the point.
And it ends on... Who else? Lionel Messi in his new colours in the centre of the field. It's worth it. It's cool. Listen to the music.
It's so not worth it.
Looks like a video game.
I reckon maybe that bit's a video game.
You don't think that's bloody cool?
Okay, it's cool, right? But fucking 2 minutes? Are you kidding? 2 minutes of drone shots.
I liked it. Anyway, that concludes what I wanted to talk about. I think it's an interesting point how content can be dictated by whose decision it was, but Barcelona did a lot, and PSG, they did the best in my opinion. I don't care if it's 2 minutes. It was bloody cool.
You know what that's actually like? Do you remember, was it this season we were talking about it, or last season, the bowling alley drone shots?
Bowling alley.
Jump on YouTube now. Come on. We're gonna do this. If we're gonna do this properly, we're gonna do this. Okay. Search like bowling alley drone.
Okay, so listeners and watchers, we're doing this thing where I'm basically the control dude. So this whole YouTube episode, you're gonna see what we see. So what am I searching? Bowling
alley drone.
Alley drone.
Yeah, that's first. There you go. First thing. Drone. Okay, this is what I was thinking. Go to the 156. Oh, why would you click the 230 version?
I mean, is this the same?
Why do you want to watch so much?
Look, we've got an
get
Amazon
an ad blocker, would you?
No, it's not Amazon.
Hey, Amazon, if you're listening, which you are, okay, this is the shot. This is way more impressive than the fucking
look at the quality.
Lionel.
Look at the quality.
Yeah. And wait, because it like shows the mechanics of it's just unreal. Wait till it dip down.
I don't understand this.
It's streaming. Mine's lagging a bit, so I don't know exactly what's happening. But like
Mine's
this bit,
clear.
like they go behind the machines and shit.
How?
Now, see, this is 2 minutes worth of footage that I want to watch, not a fucking drone flying around a stadium until they reveal. Like we all knew he was there. Like it could have been over in a minute, mate. Like
no, I've changed my opinion. This is a lot better.
That's my only point.
Good find. And they're even Marson. It's recent. Yeah, good call, actually. That's far better than stuff for you, PSG. Shit job.
Yeah. I think that's what they were aiming for. Yeah. But it's just like poor execution, basically, in my opinion.
I
don't
think so, but move on.
I don't get paid to make the decisions. But no, good bit of diversification from you there, Barks. Like you don't normally dip into the soccer world, so I'm glad you did.
Thank you. I think we've got to be on top of these things with big Lionel. Whatever you said.
Speaking of, though, you know what's getting me a bit giddy at the moment, Barks?
Josh Giddey. Anyone. Go on. Move on.
Who the fuck is Josh Giddey?
He was on I talked about him, number 6 overall, Aussie kid, NBA draft, Oklahoma City Thunder. Well, thanks for listening.
I don't listen. I listen to you so much, but you talk so much sometimes.
It's a podcast, Jules.
Anyway, NFL preseason, buddy. We're back.
Fucking right on.
So there's some games happening at the moment. They're getting right into the swing of things. It's a crucial time because the lists are being decided. Players are getting cut left, right, and center. Players are retiring because they're realizing that, oh shit, I don't actually want to do this again.
They're retiring as the preseason starts.
As the preseason. So it happens sometimes. It happens. But anyway, that's not my point. My point is, I want to talk today about preseason documentaries.
Okay.
Because for the longest time, I think we've spoken about documentaries before on the show, but for the longest time, I wasn't really a fan of them. Kind of just
at all.
Neither here nor there for me. Like, I don't know. I find them like, unless you're telling a really good story, they're just like the same. Like, there's no real story. But in particular, I want to talk about 2 examples that have come out of the preseason during the NFL. One we don't really need to watch. One is the Hard Knocks series, which is, I think, going into its 15th or 16th season. And this year it's focusing on the Dallas Cowboys for the 3rd time. Now, if you're not a big NFL fan, the Dallas Cowboys are the most recognizable brand in sports across the world. Like, second to, I think, maybe Chicago Bulls because of their 95-96. The brand value on the Dallas Cowboys is, I wouldn't put like my life on it, but I reckon it's pretty fucking close. Their brand value is immense.
As we
All
saw
because
with
of, like-
as we saw with their fixture video.
Yeah, they've got Post Malone in it, right? Like that's how good they are. But they've been like an underperforming team. So every year the NFL do this series called Hard Knocks, which basically focuses on the preseason period of one club, and they just get access to everyone. They mic them up for the entire thing, and I think like apart from like having the publicity from it, one of the trade-offs is that they can basically tell whatever story pops out of the preseason, which makes it great. And there's been some great moments over the years, like players getting cut, competition between players for spots. Chad Johnson, who's, I can't say the name he re-chose, but it really like showing his character through these documentaries, and it just builds up personality. But it's all about access, right? Like that's half the thing. Those episodes, I think they go for around 20 to 30 minutes each. Hard Knocks. I wouldn't quote me on that. I might check that offline. But basically, it's just released and it's week to week, and it's a really good insight into what the NFL's like, and it ticks so many boxes. On the back of that, the Jaguars, and I need to shout out our friend Ryan for sending me this, have put out like a mini series just focusing like of a month or to 2 months worth of their preseason. Now, these are mini episodes that are just released on YouTube, and this one that I've linked, Barks, and that we're watching here, is about the drafting of Trevor Lawrence. Okay. Who was the Heisman Award-winning college quarterback who was destined to go number one. And it was the first time, you can see him there in the red, that's Trevor Lawrence. It was the first time the Jags had a pick number one in their entire history. So it was the first time that they were able to use it. And this episode just basically is like a draft night type of thing.
Yeah.
Coming up now, I just want to focus on this. So see, they've highlighted this quote, inflection point. That's the actual name of the episode. So they're drawing on like what's happening, what's being said about their team, what their owners are saying, and they're making themes around it, which I think is really cool. If we jump to around like mate, do you have ad blocker? You do.
That goes back to remember how we shouted out the Knicks for using Julius Randle's quote? Is this similar?
Quote, yeah. It's similar because they just build the theme around it, and this theme is like inflection point. So it's like a point. I don't actually know what inflection is before I get too far into it, but I think it's like a point of where you make a decision of what's going.
A change in the form of a word. Oh no!
So a change.
Change.
Is that what I mean?
Change of a point.
Okay. So at about 5 minutes 34, if you can skip to that point.
Done your research. Well, you'd hope so.
Yeah, I have. So this is now the draft night. Oh, fuck, another ad. So they get into the draft night portion of it. And I thought it was really cool. Like, I just don't think we have this access. So here, around here, you can leave it from here. Yeah. So at this stage here, they're calling, that's Trevor Lawrence looking as cool as a cucumber, knowing he's going to get picked up by anyone and just make bank. They're calling him before they actually select him and like basically say, hey, we're going to pick you up. Thanks for coming. Basically, like you're going to be the first pick.
That part of it.
And then they select him.
Yeah, that part of it's different. That's cool.
Yeah. And then throughout the rest of the episode, it's just like talking, him going to the club and finding out everything about it, meeting some people, all that kind of usual stuff. But it's all based around this same theme, and they do some interviews, all that kind of stuff. My point with this is, I think, and Barks, I'm keen to get your thoughts on it as well, is just preseason documentaries and club documentaries, I feel like they've been done to death. Like,
you're sick of them.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's just like the story's not there, right? Like every preseason is the fucking same for everyone. Like you have players coming in, you have players retiring, you have like tension, expectation, this, that, whatever. I think like my point in all of this, after this long rant that I've been speaking for 5 minutes, is you actually need to sit down at the preseason, work out what you're going to talk to. Don't shy away from like showing controversy or like tension or anything like that, and give fans like the reality of everything that's happening behind the scenes, right? Like,
yeah.
If you're going to do it, you need to do it properly. And these like little 14-minute episodes are perfect for me because like I wouldn't want to sit down and watch an hour documentary on the preseason. I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
14 minutes is probably about my limit, and even then it's pushing it.
I think this
but
is...
yeah,
Sorry. No, I just think there's so many like layers to this. Like you could really rip it apart. Like I get what you're saying that it's been overdone. I completely agree that it needs to have... Don't just do a preseason doco because your reason is to give access. Everybody loves access, but I think you do see it right through it if it's just a plain and simple access piece on the whole team. I think what you can do and what teams have done is literally do it on one person or two people.
Or follow.
For a reason. Because I think you sort of get yourself into a bit of trouble trying to cover the whole damn team and showing every single person's personalities, and that's when it might get a bit draining. And there's also just so much shit to go through. Like if you're trying to cover everyone, so much,
and trying to like make sure that all their personalities come through in a way, and like they all have their own difficulties and whatnot, like on the field, away from the field. Yeah. I just also think like The Last Dance was obviously great, and the what's the Drive to Survive, the F1 one, is supposed to be really good. I just feel though like a lot of them miss the mark of just having a documentary for the sake of having a documentary. Like we all know athletes work hard, and this might be a fucking hot take, right? And happy to be battled on it. But we all know athletes work hard, right? But like, what else? What else is going on? Like
that's where I think if you narrow in on one person, that's and again, there's got to be reasons why you choose that people. It can't just be like let's do Alex Caruso, because like if someone like him might work because he's got that backstory. But I just think you narrow in on something for a reason. Don't just try to create it. There's got to be a reason.
He's got that backstory and he's got that interest. And I also think like the other point of it is that, especially in America, right? Like a lot of athletes are now taking it into their own hands and doing their own like.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to fuck it up. Vlogs or like personal kind of stuff. I mean, I think we spoke about it during the week. The Isaiah Thomas example.
That's actually I'm going to just quickly find that because that was superb.
Yeah.
Talk to it though. Talk to what it was.
So Isaiah Thomas is doing this series called The Slow Grind, and I think he's been doing it for a while now. And he's basically like, IT hasn't been able to be picked up since he like... What? When did he leave? Who was he last with? The Cavs? Is that right?
Hey, he probably bounced around to a few nothing.
Yeah. But never really played because of his injuries. And this last clip that he's released as part of his documentary or like self-documentary that he's doing, he scores 81 points in a Pro-Am game, and then he just breaks down afterwards, and it's fucking heartbreaking actually to watch because it's like. Yeah, play the clip, Barks. So if you're listening, he's kind of leaving the field.
It's actually really surprising to me that he let it go, has put that out there.
I thought that as well to start with. But all this does, like, it's almost the smartest PR that I've ever seen in my life. Like,
I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it.
Yeah, I think it's like all it's done really is like Isaiah now looks so good in everyone's mind, and everyone's really like talking about him now. If you were to recruit him as like, it's instant like win. It's win-win, right? Like even if you sign him and put him on your team, people are going to think the best of him. Like
that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
that's the narrative.
You're not going to lose.
That's the narrative around him as well now. Like everybody loves him. Everybody wants him to get a chance. So it's
exactly.
It's actually a really cool sort of point about if you're a team that maybe people don't, general public, the casual fans as they call it, don't really think highly of you at the minute. What about signing a player purely to boost your morale of how good you look? I reckon it has to be done before, but Isaiah Thomas is a perfect example of that. Everybody is rooting for him. If you're a team that wants basically even other free agents to think good of you, do you consider signing a player? Do you consider signing a player to look good? That sounds so selfish, but I reckon they'd do it.
Maybe you do it.
Anyway, no, that's an interesting. As I said, there's so many layers to these mini doco series.
Mini docs.
To your original point, I personally think if you make time to watch them, as simple as that sounds, I don't really get sick of them if I'm invested in the team or the person. If I actually have genuine interest, I don't think I'd get sick of them because I feel like there's always room for them, but it definitely depends how you do it. I don't think you can. It's also one of like, you can't just scroll past it and watch 5 minutes of it. You've got to actually set aside time to actually watch it, and that's where,
which sometimes makes it hard.
Yeah, that's where the attention span comes into it.
My lack thereof.
You're not alone, Julian. Anyway, what have we got next up? We have got
next up.
Little
example from GWS, which was just it's just fucking clever, mate. Like, so
yeah.
After they won their game against Geelong, they shared this little bit of content, and it's basically like a recap of the game, but intertwined with like pop culture references. So play a little bit of it, and you'll get a bit of an idea of what it's about. We don't have to watch the whole thing. It's about 3 minutes 20. And thanks to Tim from Tradable for sharing this. And yeah, just watch a little bit of it. Basically.
Lee Merrick for posting it.
You see the world through orange-tinted glasses?
I can't believe my own eyes. They're amazing.
Welcome to the One-Eyed Giant. Today we are reviewing a game from a little place called GMHBA CAKHA Stadium in Geelong. With 8 outs, not many in the media gave the Giants much of a chance. It was stressful early, as the Cats came out strong with a goal in the first 30 seconds.
I'll just mute it there. So is this a weekly thing they do to recap a win? And it sounds like they're trying to almost explain what the game is.
I've never actually seen this before. I've never seen it before, but it looks like it's almost a series. But it's just it's so good. Like it's actually a genuinely good way to recap a game and have some fun with it.
This is,
it's like it's the Twitter debate, right? Like posting on Twitter. Do you just do score updates or do you have fun with it, right? Like same thing with match highlights. Do you just post match highlights or do you have some fun with them?
Yeah.
Like how are you changing up your content to make it a little bit better? And GWS have done it.
This is a real like area to do more in. Like I don't know why we touched on it the other week, but remember how we're talking about how you use your sport to or how you show your sport to people that don't care about your sport in a way. Like how do you get people that don't enjoy watching handballs, kicks, and marks of footy to actually follow a team? This is an answer.
That seems like the answer, doesn't it?
Shout out Giants. I'm gonna watch this properly.
Shout
later.
out Giants.
That's a really good find.
Watch the full clip. We'll chuck it in our we're gonna put it in our little spreadsheet as well. So if you're at home and you're just listening to this, have a look at the spreadsheet. It'll be there for you.
And thanks for listening. Goes without saying.
40 minutes into the show. Thanks for listening.
Segue.
Okay.
We got a tip. Easy Eddie tip. Long time
Easy Eddie.
Easy Eddie's back, Jules. He got a bit crazy.
Dragged himself out of lockdown and he's come back.
We haven't used him for a while, but
we've
got a tip this week. And we're gonna bloody watch it. And it's funny
do it.
It's funny we talk about lockdown because sharing this quickly, we'll watch it together because of our fancy new sound.
Screen share.
Easy Eddie.
Here you go.
Easy Eddie's looking a bit lockdown rugged. But he's looking a bit rugged.
He's got
Look at his. I
let
actually like
himself
more of
go.
it.
That's a new painting as well. Jeez,
The
business
real-
is booming at the fucking social sandwich.
Real analysis of his room. That is a nice painting, actually. Let's get him to talk about it.
I think it's definitely a new painting behind it. He used to have a record up there, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? He almost blends in with the painting. His shirt.
2 minutes. What the fuck?
He actually said this was short. Let's see what he's got for us this week. Edwin.
G'day, boys. Well, first of all, apologies for the lockdown hair. It's been a while. I've changed hairdressers so much. Thanks for having me back on the show. I feel like it's been a while, so maybe I just missed your calls or something. But anyway, didn't get much prep time for today. But here is my tip, my thought of the day around social media. My biggest thing is, and it's a bit of a bugbear of mine with clubs and sporting teams of rehashing the same content you've already seen on the game. So, it's on a Instagram, on a Twitter page, it's score updates, it's halftime, full-time scores. For me as a fan and as someone who really engages in my sporting team and what they're doing, I want to see more behind the scenes content. And there's a really great example at the moment in the rugby league world, which, you're probably not aware of, but the West Tigers, they've got a documentary series running on Fox Sports, and they've had about 3 episodes so far. And just the access to the club, to the coach halftime speeches, to the training grounds, to get to know the players a bit better, I think is just unreal. And I'm wondering if you think that this is the way of the future, strengthening that relationship with the fans by showing them the inner sanctum, more of what goes on, more of that stuff that usually would be behind closed doors. And I think the Drive to Survive F1 is a great example. The amount of success that they had off the back of that show with, driving a younger audience to watching the sport. And I think the results they had was insane. So I guess my thought is, do you think that clubs are doing enough of that behind the scenes content at the moment? Who's doing it well? And how do you see that kind of moving to the future? Because to me, that's what I want to see more of, more behind the scenes content, less rehashing of the same stuff we've already seen. So that's it for me. Social Sandwich out.
Thanks, Sandwich. Couple of points to that.
Isn't it kind of funny that without even thinking about it, we've covered off. We haven't listened to that before. We've already covered a shitload of what he's spoken about.
This is
good times.
This is a bit egg territory for you, Jules, because I did tell him what we were talking about, so he did try to relate it.
Well, how the fuck was I supposed to know
I'll read the inboxes, but you've just egged yourself.
I don't read your personal DMs.
Anyway, so he didn't actually do everything. You've actually cracked it now. The first point to that, we actually you right? You didn't like being called out on air. The first point to that is I'm just bringing up our tweets because we had okay, so your mate Anth, he sort of touched on this about the experience of watching a game and what your Twitter is there for, which Edwin, that's his first sort of point. And Anth's tweet was, everyone knows the score, they're watching the bloody game on TV, the second screen should add to the experience, not be the same experience.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
How many times are we going to talk about this? I agree.
No, it's a quick, short answer.
I agree. But my preface or my exception to this is that
there's an expectation to still cover it.
Still an expectation to do it. And it works for teams like the Melbourne Storm because they fucking win every game. It works.
Yeah, well,
but not everyone can be this fun fucking team on social media.
That is a very
it does pain
response.
me though. It does pain me doing score updates because I think they're useless.
Yeah,
I just think they're so dumb. I think we're better off sharing content from the game. But
I
don't know.
My pet hate was I'm not a big fan of scoreboards. Full stop. But half time, get rid of it. Get rid of halftime scores, especially on the page. Twitter, fine. But Instagram, Facebook, I don't know what teams do Facebook for score updates. But Instagram, get rid of the halftime. It's not relevant. It's honestly not relevant. Is it
Small
not relevant? Second point
Cut
to
back
Edwin is the doco series point of view. My answer to that is it's the way of now. It's not the way of the future. Like that, we're seeing so much of it. To your point, Edwin's saying it's the way of the future. He wants to see more, and Jules earlier said he's sick of it.
Well, here's my other point, right? Like, I'm not going to go on another rant because I agree. Like that, I mean, there's a demand for it, but it's so cyclical, right? Like the content at the moment, and we're all victims of it. You go through phases where you do documentaries, then you do like, nah, fuck it, documentaries ain't it. Let's do highlights. Nah, fuck it, highlights ain't it. Let's do this. Let's do a podcast. Like it's now everyone's got a podcast, including us. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's so cyclical in nature. And about like, and speaking from Essendon, they used to have a show on Foxtel called The Hanger, and they used to produce a 30-minute show every week. That was in 2014.
The thing is, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. The thing is, though,
I'm not angry, Edwin. You got a point. Like, but it's just so cyclical.
Edwin loves a fight, so it doesn't matter. But my response to that is, I think, and what you're talking about before as well, you got to think it through the glasses of people aren't, unless you're in the space trying to compare and look what other teams are doing. People are only looking at Carlton. So if everyone else has a podcast and Carlton doesn't have a podcast, and they want a podcast,
exactly.
Same with the all access doco series. Like to Edwin's point, if Carlton are the only team that don't provide that access,
then
it's like, out. Yeah, you're not gonna. If you're a Carlton fan, you're not gonna go watch every other team's mini doco series. It's just because we know. It's just because you're in the space and you're looking at what other people are doing.
And no one remembers the first. Everyone remembers who doesn't. Like that's the problem. Not the problem. That's the reality.
No, it's another relevant point. Thank you, Edwin.
Yeah. No, Edwin, it was great to see you, mate.
It was. I felt like we were there watching him. I felt like we were in the room.
I felt like he was on our screen.
He was, Jules.
I looked over my shoulder. I was like, fuck, where is he?
I could feel his rustly beard on my shoulder. Anyway.
Oh, jeez.
Next,
bit of movement.
Bit of movement. You know what? This actually, it sort of lends a hand to the boss of the week. But early boss, Elise's birthday tomorrow. And you know what we're going to have
Happy birthday,
for
Elise.
breakfast? Happy birthday, but eggs tomorrow morning. Egg of the week. That
Egg
is
of the week.
intro.
Boom, boom. Dun,
No,
dun,
that's
dun,
boss.
dun, dun,
I've
dun.
got...
Okay.
What do I have this week?
do you got?
I'll do a quick one.
Mm-hmm.
In NRL's... in Edwin's world, we're sticking with that.
Oh, don't tell me you have the same one.
Do you have it? I'll share
Is it
it.
the Fox Sports one?
Yeah. Joint
Yeah,
egg.
that's right. I've got another one. I got another one. You
But
go
we
with
can,
that
we,
one.
we can call it joint egg.
Joint egg.
Joint egg, NRL, Fox. I don't know what the page... It's actually Fox NRL, I think, is the actual egg. Fox League NRL.
Yeah.
Now, following Edwin...
Official account.
And other people, yeah. Following Edwin and other people, they've gone too hard on trying to turn into a meme account. I think. I'm egging him for this post. Basically, we're not going to pretend to know players, but this Corey Norman dude has has obviously not been playing. Gnarly, man. Skater boy.
Gnarly.
Has always been playing poorly, but they've made a big montage graphic finding, like, you know how we find people use tweets to find the positives and reactions, but they've gone the opposite way and have used tweets to basically bag the dude. So it's a whole montage of people basically saying, look, example, I've seen local footy under 5s to 8s that have beer guts play way better than this season fraud Corey Norman, and there's all these basically mean tweets about the guy, and I'm just egging it because I don't understand. What is it? The old thing of any interaction is good interaction, or any engagement is good engagement?
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, I think that's a weird tactic for them. Like, why are you gonna? I don't know.
This the person that's tweeted this, Sarah. I don't know why I said that. Like, I can't pronounce Sarah. Sarah.
it's like Brett or like the easiest.
Sarah?
Is that a
Sarah?
Mark?
Mark? Pam? I believe the S is silent.
Sarah.
Ara? Anyway, the Sarah who's tweeted this has nailed it on the head, right? Like, her tweet says, every single week we are seeing NRL clubs release statements about the mental health of athletes and not tolerating social media abuse. This is so bad because it's just inviting people
the opposite. Yeah.
to talk poorly about someone. Like, we all know when a player plays shit. You don't need to call it out. And the other one who's sometimes pretty fucking average at it, and I think we've discussed it, is 7AFL. When they like post a picture, or when they used to post a picture of Taylor Harris doing anything just to get the engagement, but you knew the engagement was going to be bad. So it's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Be better. You know what's going to happen. You can't, like, these fucking media places can't keep getting away with this shit, because like it's bad. And like that player's never going to want to do anything with Fox, and you can't blame him.
That's a good, another
like, there should be a media ban on Fox. Like, sorry, like it just pisses me off, because fans are no better. Like,
it's dumb.
They forget that there's people behind everything that you see.
And that's what this
gets
point.
Me.
Yeah, that's the point to this. That Sarah's, I believe it's pronounced Sarah.
I believe it's pronounced Sarah.
That
yeah.
she's making. Like, there's so much like focus on. I just went blank. What the hell you just said? About like looking after
mental health.
Yeah, mental health, looking after players, but they've just gone the complete opposite way, and that's what Sarah's saying. So, big
Sarah?
egg.
Is it Sarah?
Sarah, I think it is. Big
Sarah.
egg, and enjoy your eggs tomorrow morning, at least. No spoilers.
Sarah. Cool. I've got a small one prepared. It's kind of like an egg.
Do ya?
And a boss combined.
Okay.
So I'll just bring it up. I'll put the link in the documentary there for you. I'll send it in there. I'm putting it in the document, mate. Just copy the link. Who can get off my case? Yeah. So we're all aware of Big Egg Taylor Walker, Tex Walker, and his racist comments, basically. We don't need to talk about that. The way that, I don't know whether it was Adelaide or whoever released it, I mean, some questions about that. I probably wouldn't have done it that way. I don't want to like dispute anything that they've got to say or whatever, or how they decided to do that. That's your team's prerogative, or like whatever. But egg of the week, Eddie Maguire, talking about racism. Like, that ain't it. Like, the man who's like had documentaries made about like how racist he is, coming out and commenting on this. Like, I get that Footy Classified is a show where they talk about football related issues.
Yeah.
And I get that. But perhaps just like ease off on like sharing any of your opinions on this, mate. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Boss part of this, Shally Ware just calling him out on Twitter and just going like, so Eddie said, I get everything I needed to get out of Taylor Walker's apology video. Shally Ware, when we ask for people with lived experience to talk about racism on your panels, we don't mean people who made us live through these experiences.
Yeah.
Good on you, Shally.
Good on you, Shally. Boss.
Great call out. And Eddie Egg.
We like that. Well, we don't like it, but we like it from Shally. So
yeah,
we like that. That's what I'm saying.
I think Eddie Maguire just needs to disappear. I believe it's pronounced Shally.
I think Eddie needs a break from footy.
I think he needs a break from media.
Something.
Oh, God.
What have I got this week? Have I got something? For a quick boss, Elise again. It's her birthday tomorrow. I don't know if I told you. But she's, we hopped on around 2 p.m. To record this. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, other side of the house, Elise is making espresso martinis, drinking them over Zoom. So you're a boss for that. Well done. Treat yourself. It's your birthday.
Jeez, you think you might make her something, mate? What'd you get? Are we allowed to know what you got her for her birthday? Whisper it. No one else can hear it.
Oh, no, yeah. No, it's just a flower delivery with a nice card. So got her something else already. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I think she's gonna love that.
Okay, that's great. Just got to show a bit of romance once in a while. So hopefully,
just show a bit of romance.
Hopefully our mic's good enough to pick this up. And my second boss of the week is actually it's in just a quick bit of content from our Messi man. Have you seen this GIF during the week, Jules?
Yeah, that's cool. I think you sent something like this before?
Oh, probably. It's been done a bit, but I just think it can't get old. It's just very cool. So
it's really cool. Yeah,
listeners, thousands of images put together, that sort of thing. But it's basically just a consecutive GIF where it just loops. So Messi kicks the ball, all sorts of photos through years. It flies through the screen through all sorts of goalkeepers he's played against, and it just keeps looping. So I'm bossing that because I'm never going to get sick of that, unlike Jules with doco series, and I believe it's pronounced Sarah. So that's it.
Is it? Are you sure it's pronounced Sarah?
It's not. This isn't funny to anybody. It's
fucking
funny.
hilarious. If this doesn't make it as a reel, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Sarah?
Sarah. Really might. Is that right? Do you have any bosses? Oh, you just gave me a boss. Never mind.
Yeah, I gave you the boss, mate. No, I don't have any. I don't need to talk about it, but boss of the week, go and watch Matt Denny's TikTok because it's fucking hilarious. Matt Denny, the discus thrower from Australia.
Okay.
Hilarious. That's my boss of the week. Like,
do you want me to find it?
He's nailing it. No, we don't need to watch it.
Right.
I'll chuck a link in, but like, just watch it. It's funny.
Okay.
Well,
that does us for this week. Thank you, listeners. We appreciate it. New camera right there. And
you're gonna have two views of me dancing.
Jules will have multi angles because he can't quite figure it out yet.
Can't work it out.
Thank you for tuning in. As always, we appreciate it. Go check us out on the YouTube, Instagram, social, all those fun platforms, and it's been a pleasure. So stay. What am I trying to say? Stay healthy in lockdown. Have fun. Hopefully, we'll be out of it soon.
Fuck, what is this? A presidential speech?
I'm gonna get in. It did sound a bit like I'm running for something. Anyway,
and to all the Sarahs out there, Sarah, any Sarah that's listening, could we just get some feedback on how we pronounce your name?
Sarah. You know what's funny?
Sarah.
Pronounce Sarah. Anyway, enough of that bullshit. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, and join us next week.
Bye.
Peace out, man. Gnarly.